Hey guys, how you doing? This is Buddy Blackford and I'm here with another Adobe After Effects CS6 tutorial for the new Boston. Today we're going to be learning more about animating, specifically keyframing velocity and speed, and a little bit about the motion path. I'm going to teach you a little bit about different types of keyframes and we'll go from there. So if you look here, I created a motion path by animating the position, and it's just 3 keyframes in a kind of an arch. So I wanted to show you about the motion path is in between each of your keyframes. So if you look at the motion path, there's little dots. Each of those dots represent a frame, and when you get to the bigger squares, that's your actual keyframe. So between this big square and this big square, there's this many frames. Now the closer together the dots are, I'll show you that, the farther apart and slower your animation is going to be. Now you can see there's a whole bunch of dots because I dragged the keyframe farther away from the first keyframe. So let's put that back somewhere close to the middle. Now realistically, I'll show you the animation real quick. It's just not too realistic. It's just a basic animation. So in real life, an object will accelerate in the beginning and maybe accelerate or decelerate around this position, around the middle position, and then at the end position it'll decelerate. And you can achieve this in After Effects to make a more realistic animation. To do this, let's go down to the last keyframe where we know we'll be decelerating, and we'll go up to make sure it's clicked. You know it's clicked when it's highlighted. Go up to the menus up here and click on Animation, and go to Keyframe Assistant, and you can click on Easy Ease. And when I click on this, watch the dots at the end, how they change. Let's move this out of the way. You can see that the dots have gotten closer together into a decelerating fashion. Now I'll show you real quick another animation preview. If you watch the end, it slowly comes to a halt instead of like just stopping on a dot. This makes the animation look a little more realistic. Now the hotkey for the Easy Ease key is F9, and you'll want to remember that. That's the most important one. To make the keyframe not be an Easy Ease keyframe anymore, hold Control or Command on Windows and click on the keyframe, and it'll put it back to a regular keyframe. When you use the Easy Ease keyframes, it automatically figures out which is the best position for you to, or what is the best way for it to interpret how you want to use the keyframe. So if we put it at the start and convert this into an Easy Ease keyframe, I'll show you another way real quick, is to right click on your keyframe and go to the Keyframe Assistant and click on Easy Ease again, and you notice that now it is accelerating. So the keyframe, the Easy Ease hourglass icon there, it figures out what would be best. So at the beginning it'll accelerate, and at the end it'll decelerate for you. So I'm gonna Control click on the hourglass again to change it back. Now if you want to be more precise and maybe the keyframe Easy Ease didn't work the way you wanted it to, you can also use a different method. If you right click on it and go to Keyframe Assistant, and you can choose if you want it to go in or out. So in the beginning, if you want it to accelerate, click on out, and it'll do the same exact thing. You can see that it turns into an arrow pointing to the left. So let's preview it real quick. Alright. And you can do the same thing with the end one. Easy Ease in. Let's preview. Accelerates, then decelerates. Now it's a little bit of more smoother animation, easier on the eye. zoom in again. That's pretty good for this part of the tutorial. That I basically taught you about the motion path and the easy ease. Remember that these are the frames in between, and remember that in our composition that we created, go to the composition settings here, that we are at 24 frames per second for the frame rate. We pick that. It might be you can change that anytime you want. It's not always smart to change it in the middle of animating and stuff like that, because it might screw up your previous animations, but it's always there to animate. Remember that F9 is the hotkey for easy ease, and you don't really have to remember the easy ease in and easy ease out keyframe or hotkeys, because you don't use them as much as the regular easy ease. But here are the hotkeys: Shift F9 and Control Shift F9. It's kind of not easy to. It's not like an easy hotkey to just use, where you can keep your one hand on the mouse and one hand hitting the hotkey like this one. So let's head off into the next tutorial, where I'll be teaching you how to smooth out your animation, and we'll see what goes on from then. Hope to see you guys there.